What's up, guys? Doing a real quick video. I'm exhausted, so I really don't want to be on camera right now and stuff. Right? I've actually been, I've actually been told that the shaky cam is not liked, but and I'll abide to that. But I just want to kind of get this stuff, put up tonight and stuff, right? But anyway, I ended up going out to Charlotte MiniCon in Charlotte, North Carolina, and it's put on the people who do Heroes Con. It's just a little bitty tiny one, $5 to get in, 11 o'clock till 5. And got to give all credit where credit is due. Right here with this first book here. Scott Connor, the guy, one of my friends I talk about quite often on here. He he more or less talked me into going. He drove, and I ended up having a really good time because, man, when I started, I was tired and grumpy. And by the end of it, I was like, you know what? That was a pretty good day. And while we were at the con, he found this for $5 and picked it up for me. It is volume 5 of Dark Horse's phone book editions, reprinting Usagi Yojimbo. I think this is 79 to, this is it reprints 76 to 94. I think these came out in 2015. So that was really cool of them. I didn't really get into, I think, who was it? Undisputed Frost and maybe a few other people. There was like a synergy. It seems like everybody was talking about Usagi Yojimbo all of a sudden, even though he's been around forever. So I kind of jumped on there really late. So thank you, Scott. Appreciate it. Thanks for taking me. When I got to the con, one of the first things I found, before I go on, all the books here cost me 50 cents to $1. I think I spent 25 bucks total. So I used my card one time, so I haven't really done the math. But anyway, first thing I found were 2 out of the 7 volumes of Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, which was just fantastic to find. I found some issues of this before, but they had taken stills from the cartoon. If you're familiar with this, it's Studio Ghibli. But this is the comic that it was based on, and I think this came out in '89, so it's probably American reprints. But what I find really interesting, there's an interview with Hayao Miyazaki here, and Mobius in here, and this actually has the Mobius poster still inside of it. So I've loved this cartoon since the '80s when it came over in America the first time in a horrible cut with horrible voiceover. And it was known as Warriors of the Wind, which nobody can do. So to find this and then find out that Mobius has a hand in it somehow, it's just fantastic. That's Nausicaa. So that was really cool to still find the poster in there. And, of course, these are black and white, and they're just fantastic. I'm going to set that to the side. I can't get it to fold. And then I also got Volume 2. Really good shape. Just fantastic. Variety always makes... Variety is always, makes your comic book collection just a little bit more. Oh, that is fantastic. Love that stuff. Oh, anyway. Okay. Then I found a pretty good run of Swamp Thing I needed, which was just really fantastic. I think now I have, I think I have issue 19 to 100 now, missing one issue, number 90. I can never find number 90, but these are sort of upgrades or books that I always kind of pick up, some of these extra ones. John Constantine makes an appearance in this. He actually lets Swamp Thing use his body so he and Abby can make a baby. Here's number 76 and 77. I already have those. No, but then here's one I don't have. Number 78. Number 80. It's such a fun series, and Rick Vetch did a really fantastic job. And I'll pick this one up all day long. This is number 84. It's one of the books that always blows my mind when I see it in the wild and nobody's picking it up. There's actually like a hint here if you look really close at the cover. I'm not going to say what the helmet is. You're either going to know what it is or you're not, but this has a Sandman appearance. This is where he gets Matthew Cable. And then Matthew Cable ends up appearing in Neil Gaiman's Sandman as Matthew the Crow, or the Raven, the Raven. So anyway, number 87. This is one of those books I've thought I'd bought a couple times and just never, pulled the trigger. Fantastic covers. 92. Like I said, I can't find number 90. 94. All the eyes and Swamp Thing and that axe. 95. God. '96. I wonder if this is before or after Nirvana's Nevermind. I mean, look. This is a year before. Well, yeah, this is about a year before. Interesting. And 97, 98. Oh, such a good series. And number 100. I need to get this bagged. So I think I'm good for a while. Picked this up for practically nothing. It's a little rolled, no big deal here. But this is one of those books that makes me feel very nostalgic because when I was in middle school, this is the first appearance of Iron Man's Silver Centurion armor there, which is, when he's fighting Obadiah Stane. And this with the West Coast Avengers books, for some reason, where I saw people walking the halls in middle school with these books, it really makes me, kind of think about the 80s and stuff. So I went and got that. Found this for 50 cents. Plop number 4, those great Basil Wolverton covers and stuff. This was DC's attempt of kind of coming up with their own version of the underground comics of the time. Really good stuff in here. Sergio Aragonis did some work in here, and just great stuff. I think this had Sergio Aragonis drawing Eve, Cable, Cain, and Abel as hosts for some of this stuff. Fun stuff. And they let me have these for free. These are old direct current books for that would have news. They had a bunch of these in some boxes at one of the dealers at the comic book convention. And he gave them to me for free, so I wish I'd went through and got a bunch of them. But you get a checklist and news about books coming up. And I'm actually probably going to try to find this now, man. Viking Glory, the Viking Prince, a hardcover graphic novel that's painted by Bo Hampton. And you can see the books that were coming out. Deathstroke, the Terminator was getting his own series, and the Flash TV show was taking off. You get some history here. The Mantes and Giffen were winding down their run on Justice League with the breakdowns and just cool stuff in there. And I love, and this was stuff they would give you for free in the bags when you're at the comic book shop and some sample pages. So I'm going to be trying to track down this Viking Glory, the Viking Prince, with an introduction by Will Eisner. So that's something, but beautiful Bo Hampton art. So I didn't even know that came out. Filling in some gaps of Autumn Lands number 13. This was a series that Kurt Busiek did that was inspired by Commandy. I think he actually has some Commandy stories he wanted to tell. DC said no, so he took those ideas and ended up doing Autumn Lands. So yeah, what is that, number 13 and number 12? I think I only need about 2 more and I'll have the whole series. Talking animals. We all know I love Commandy. I think these were 50 cents a piece. These were fantastic. It's number 18, The Invaders by Roy Thomas. I don't know if Frank Robbins was still on the series by then. But this character, the Destroyer, I've always had a fascination with the name Destroyer because there was a while there where it popped up everywhere. George Thorogood and the Destroyers. Then you had the Destroyer with Remo Williams and Chun. And then you have this Silver Age character that popped up after 3 decades. And actually when I ended up, I think was it 2 years? For 2 years, I ended up coaching my son's soccer team. And both times he either broke his foot or something happened. But both times he never got to finish the season. So I ended up having to coach without my son on the team when that was my whole point to do it. And the whole point is the first year I went in there to coaching, I know it was like, what were they? Elementary kids, I think. And but they were like 5th grade and stuff, if not right at middle school. But anyway, I went in and I had everybody sitting there. They had to write down their name. You had some colors for your team to pick from. And I was sitting there like, well, what am I going to call this? What am I call my soccer team? And I said, the Destroyers. So when I get up there and I write down the Destroyers, the people running the soccer league or whatever said, oh, my God, you're serious. And I was like, yeah, I'm pretty serious about it. I want to do a good job. Then I looked at the other teams, and the teams were like the Hokies, the Smurfs, stuff like that. And here I'm coming out with the Destroyers. The kids loved it. Anyway, enough of that. Here's number 34, the Destroyer again. So it's going to be kind of cool to read this. Yes, I know that Robert Kirkman or somebody did a mini-series on him a couple years ago, but I want to see the Golden Age stuff. Here's number 39. Yeah, some good stuff here. Yep, bringing in Bucky's little team. Can't remember what they were called right now. And this was a book that I've been looking for years for something decent. G.I. Joe Yearbook number 2, Mike Golden art. And this was the book that I thought when I was like 9 or 10, I would sit there and just go through this art over and over and over and just read this one over and over. And This is one of the books that just disintegrated over the years, where I just kept it out and I always read it and stuff. And then it just eventually disappeared. So I found this, and I'm very happy to get it for $1. And I'm like, yay. So I'm sitting here thinking, okay, it's going to be a low grade. It's actually not that bad. It's got a little bit of love on it. So I sit there and I'm flipping through it. And I'm like, this is cool. These pages are creamy. Mike Golden can actually draw. What got me is that he drew the toys just right. And I started realizing this is why I thought I had more G.I. Joe comics than I thought, because at the time this went through every cover of G.I. Joe that was there. And then we had a synopsis of the entire series up to this point. From G.I. Joe #1, they told you the storylines and let you follow everything. So this is why I kept up with G.I. Joe. But then I get to the back page, and somebody has cut out, I knew it. I usually check for this stuff with Marvel stamps, but somebody had cut out the, a little coupon in here or something where you can, mail in for something, subscribe to G.I. Joe or something. But that's cool. I said that was all right. My buddy Scott was like, no, it's not. So put all that to the side. And then this was something that was there for free that I grabbed. This is based on People of Earth. It's a TV show on TBS that I enjoy thoroughly. I'll binge watch it whenever it comes out and stuff. But it's kind of like walks you through what the show is and cast of characters. It's a funny show. We'll just leave it at that. Okay, so then, like I said, all these books were 50 cents or $1. Not much at all. Another book I'll pick up all day. Books of Magic #25, and I think the other one is #4. They have death appearances in them. So I'll grab those. I've got to look up. I think this is a variant cover for Brightest Day #8. It was 50 cents, so I just kind of grabbed it. The White Lantern touch to it. And then I couldn't believe I found these. I found issues, I think, we'll see what they are, I think 2 through 6 of The Boys when they were still at Wildstorm before, Garth Ennis went too far with the gerbil, the hamster, or whatever it was. We'll just leave it at that. And DC was like, we love you, Garth, but here's your books and the rights. And they ended up getting picked up by Wildstorm. This is getting made into a TV show. This is why I was really surprised. I have almost a complete set of this book, but I never thought I would find the first 6 issues. I just never did. I have #1. I have the gerbil issue, which I think is around #5. And then to find these for almost 50 cents, I think. But anyway, here's #2 of The Boys. This is pretty heavy for everybody. This is not everybody's cup of tea. #3. What is this? #4? Yeah, #4. And yes, that character Huey is supposed to look like Simon Pegg. Simon Pegg actually is aware of it. And he wrote a little something in one of the trades for them. A little introduction. #5. Maybe it was #6 that really went too far. Another book I'll pick up all day long because for years it was impossible to find. This is the 3rd one I've found. But this is Legion of Superheroes. This is coming off the 5 years later. And issue #38, the Earth blows up and we have appearance of Neil Gaiman's death. Really glad to find these. I only need #3 and #10 now. But here's #20 of Garth Ennis, or Keith Giffen. Doing a really good run of Doom Patrol, really underrated, and I'm kind of glad that, I can find these so cheap and stuff. There's only 22 issues, and now I'm just down to needing 2. #21, just a really good stuff, Okay, then at Baltimore Comic-Con over the summer, I ran into Philip Kennedy Johnson at a table. He had picked up doing one of Jim Henson book. I can't remember what it was or what company, but he came in and co-wrote it. And then he had some of his Warlords of the Appalachia there. And he told me to check it out. And I gave him my word I would. And I found 1 or 2 issues. But found 1 through 4 here. And they're 50 cents a piece. So we'll see what happens here. I've never read this. And I live in the Appalachia. So this should be interesting. I think he's from Kentucky is what he told me. So I only picked those up because I gave someone my word. And I keep my word. Okay. And then I had quit Astro City. I was going to quit around issue 50, and I skipped buying this book because, look at it. I'm into Astro City. This Vertigo run's been going on since about 2013, I think, and it's had its highs and lows, but it's not the old Astro City where it's out, awesome. So I said I was going to quit it. As soon as I announced that they were going to quit it, it turns out they're canceling the series with issue 52 and going straight to graphic novels and stuff, right? And yes, some of Kurt Busiek's Twitter interactions are one of the reasons I also decided I was going to quit. So I'm going to go ahead and get the entire, up to issue 52. And I think it's ironic that even though it's Vertigo, they're with DC, and they picked the number 52 to end at, And I was really happy to find these for 50 cents a piece. I had number 1 of this. And I love the ABC line, everything that came out of it, even though, some of, just, I'm not going to get into it. But anyway, I love Tom Strong, even though this isn't done by Alan Moore. It was really cool to find Tom Strong and the, Planet Apparel. We have a bunch of heroes that are in public domain that he had in the Tom Strong series when it was out. I think that's Black Terror, a little revamp on the costume. So I love that pulp feel to these books, these old pulp feels. If you like Doc Savage and stuff like that, you'll like this. Yeah, American Eagle. We got some dreadnoughts in here. Tell me that doesn't look like the dreadnoughts from G.I. Joe. I like the theme here. I've got a bunch of G.I. Joe stuff, a bunch of Neil Gaiman Sandman stuff, crossing over in the books, a bunch of Vertigo books. And it seems like it's all, all kind of connected and weird. That's Tom Strange, this planet's version of Tom Strong, if you will. And I'm really looking forward to the Terrifics where they're going to pull in Tom Strong. So it's going to be awesome. All right, guys. And there's the last one. That was the 6-issue miniseries. All right. Again, thanks to Scott Connor. And actually ran into a friend or two down there, which was amazing. And I ran into the people who have a YouTube channel called Comic Trips. So check them out. They moved down from New Jersey down to the Charlotte area. They're also into tattoos, but they have a channel where they take road trips and stuff to buy comics and stuff. And Scott knew them. Scott was looking for them, and he introduced me to them, and I got a quick picture with them. So yeah, I have a picture of them on Twitter. I also have a couple pictures of some cosplayers on Twitter. So you can find me at @HowlerMouse on Twitter. So thumbs up, like, and subscribe, and have a good one, guys.